I think it was a natural progression for fans because they knew the building of what it was in the past, whether it be college hockey, pro hockey, high school hockey, whatever. And so I think it just kind of gave the conference an additional lift in terms of engagement and people attending the event. And, you know, we saw it continue to grow over time.
North Dakota with 3 goals. Minnesota the loose.
And the Mavericks are on the board.
Here the Broncos coming in. The Miami Redhawks.
St. Cloud State University up.
And Colorado College is off and running here tonight in Denver National Champions.
Who's going to beat these guys?
After 4 years at Target Center, the NCHC had the opportunity to move across the river into the premier hockey venue in the Midwest, Xcel Energy Center.
Going back to the Xcel, I think, legitimized the conference. Once again, it said, you know, we tout ourselves as the premier league in college hockey, and we have, you know, premier coaches, we have premier players, we have premier facility, and I think it just continued to build up.
To me, this area it bleeds hockey. Between the local places that are here and the buzz on a night when the Minnesota Wild are playing, I just think that you take a look at this building and you think big-time hockey, and the Frozen Face-Off is a big-time event because generally the 4 teams that are in that event are all going to the national tournament, and as of late, one of them tends to win it.
It starts off with, you know, you're dreaming as a kid, you know, to play in the state tournament as a kid, and, you know, I did that once, and, you know, it's super special to play with my high school teammates, and then when you get to college and, you know, you're trying to win the NCHC championship and it's on that ice, it's obviously super special, you know, being downtown St. Paul, and, you know, it's kind of early March, and, you know, the season's changing, and obviously my debut as well was in that building too, so super special building and a lot of fun, you know, playing in those games there.
Kate's rich history on that ice includes taking part in arguably the greatest game in NCHC Frozen Face-Off history, the 2019 double overtime championship game.
Yeah, that was a great game. You know, being a freshman and, you know, kind of playing for that NCHC championship for the first year was a very intense game. You know, 2 of the best teams in the league. I think St. Cloud was number 1 most of the year, and, you know, we ended up winning the national championship that year, but we were ranked 1 or 2, so 2 powerhouse teams that, you know, weren't willing to give an inch for each other.
So it just built that rivalry in a really nice way. Anytime you're in a championship that goes into overtime and then double overtime, there's just so much energy and anticipation.
Lotterer back the other way. Lotterer gives it up right, and they score! Minnesota Duluth wins it! They get the winner in overtime! The second overtime as they take on St. Cloud!
That would be the conference's last time on that ice for a while, as the world would come to a halt, forcing the NCHC to innovate.
There were concepts of this, right, that were out there, but they were concepts of this at the highest level of our sporting ecosystem.
I think we all were walking on eggshells trying to figure out what was going to happen. And so when Josh came to us with really this pie-in-the-sky idea of what would it look like, I mean, there had been nothing done like that before. I think that it piqued our interest immediately. It was innovative. We thought we could do it. You know, obviously as a single sport league, it gives us probably a little bit more ability to navigate and adapt to conditions.
After months of daily meetings with more than a dozen entities and detailed planning with the University of Nebraska Medical Center, Omaha emerged as the home for the NCHC Pod.
Well, I think Josh Fenton, the former commissioner, always talked about how important student-athlete experience was. And a lot of times it's just a line that everyone says, and you just kind of, you know, as a journalist, you're like, okay, you know, of course everyone's saying it, do they actually believe it? And I thought the pod was kind of backing that up.
So by crafting hotel, food, medical, we created an environment, I think, that was going to ensure that it was going to be a safe environment in which, with to the best of our ability, we could create a situation where we could keep players safe and get the competition done.
I will tell you this, the pod was the envy of the entire college hockey world. I can't tell you how many coaches from other conferences were calling me during the pod to say how cool is what we're watching. Is it really as unique as it looks?
Delayed by 2 months, the 2020-2021 NCHC season officially started with 38 games in 21 days at Baxter Arena.
It was much more like a pro schedule, and I think the guys appreciated it. I think for me as a coach, I liked it because it changed your preparation or your thinking sometimes, when you're only going off a day or two. And so it was kind of fun to kind of change that up.
Obviously I was excited. There wasn't too much hope that year and in college hockey for a lot of teams, but I knew the NCHC was working hard and going to do a good job to get us on the ice, and they did a great job with that pod in Omaha.
The coaches, the players, the staffs, everybody trying to do their best to make sure we maintained a safe environment, that we were able to get it pulled off without a major hitch, that we were able to really have something that successful. So we were all extremely proud of what we did.
With fans not allowed in venues, the conference's digital network, NCHC.TV, became an even more critical asset.
The NHL was in its break, so my phone was just buzzing from former players in the NHL. How do I watch this game? Everybody was watching the pod games.
But we wanted it to be a place where they could come on Wednesday or Tuesday or Monday and catch video on demand that was there, and I think has served its purpose. Now it's evolved even more to where it's a little bit of a one-stop shop for any and all things digital for the NCHC, whether it be standings and stats, and obviously live video and video on demand continues to be there. And so I think it's a powerful tool for the league from a brand building standpoint and also from a revenue standpoint, and glad to see it continue to be successful.
They know that NHL scouts are watching these games, GMs are watching these games, fans are watching these games, prospective coaches are watching these games. These games are being watched by a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons.
While the NCHC found plenty of success off the ice, its teams were having just as much success on the ice.